Speaking of a bit of spice between these two as well, during the course of the week, you'll have known about Spygate, given the fact that Borough have alleged that there was a Southampton intern in the vicinity of the training ground, keeping an eye on what they were doing ahead of kickoff. So, Rockley Park on Thursday, Borough claim that a member of Southampton staff who was a junior intern seen secretly filming the training session from nearby bushes. The club alleged that images and videos were deleted after he was challenged, and EFL regulations state that the clubs cannot film an opposition's training within 72 hours of a match unless they've been given permission to do so. Here is what the EFL have had to say about this, because of course sanctions forthcoming in case things are proven right. The statement on Spygate: the charges relate to the following regulations. EFL Regulation 3.4, which requires clubs to act towards each other with the utmost good faith, and EFL Regulation 127, which prohibits any club from observing or attempting to observe another club's training session within 72 hours of a scheduled match between the two clubs. Under EFL regulations, Southampton would ordinarily have 14 days to respond to the charges. However, given the nature of the matter, the EFL will ask the Independent Disciplinary Commission to shorten the response period and to list a hearing at the earliest opportunity. So, Jobi, McAnuff, echoes of what we saw between Derby County and Leeds a few years back, a situation that Keith Andrews at the time, as a pundit, called absolutely disgusting. What's your thoughts?
Well, I would absolutely echo those sentiments of Keith a few years ago to describe this situation. I mean, at this stage of the season, you know, to go to that extent, if it is proven, and listen, there's charges, so there's got to be some sort of evidence there, but, you know, what this game, what we love about football in this country is the integrity, is that every time you go out onto that football pitch, win, lose or draw, there's an element of fairness. This absolutely blows that all out of the water. You know, whatever you want to dress it up, there's no other word to describe it as cheating. To go onto another club's training facility, which should be private, you're building up to a big game, you should be able to work on your tactics, and we don't know the extent, how much of it's video or photographic evidence, whatever, but clearly there potentially has been an attempt to gain an unfair advantage. I'm all for competitive little balance, but there's so much around now, Prutz, you know, in terms of data and stuff that you can do from the games. There should be absolutely no need to have to go to these lengths to try and gain an edge. It's not an edge, it's outright cheating.
Tommy, is this as serious as Jobi said, as serious as we've heard the reaction to it? Because, I mean, to play devil's advocate, how much more could a team possibly know about the other team after 46 league games?
Well, this is it, and just echoing what Jobi said there, I think the key word in all this is integrity, Prutz. I think it's, I'll be honest with you, when I first heard about it, I thought, no, it can't be right, that, because you just don't expect it to happen in this day and age with what happened previously with the Bielsa incident. And again, as Jobi just mentioned, I think there's that much availability now from an analyst to look at, for sort of head coaches to look at, the work that goes into, the sort of detail that goes into preparation for games. To go to this length, it's criminal. It really is criminal, Prutz, and it is cheating. You know, there's no place in the game for it, and if found guilty, they need to be punished, and severely punished at that.
And Kev, I mean, from Southampton's point of view, they've come out and spoken about what they're going to do, which is fully cooperate with any investigation at all. I mean, something about the whole thing doesn't sound right at all, does it?
No, it doesn't, and, you know, echo what the lads say. I can't believe we're standing here talking about it in this day and age of football. What happened at Leeds with Bielsa, you know, lessons you would have thought have been learned. Yeah, it's, you know, clearly they're guilty. We know that, and, you know, whatever comes with it, they'll have to hold their hands up. I'm interested now to see how they do cooperate, whether they come out and just hold their hands up and say, yep, guilty, we've done it. There's a question that's going to be answered. Have you done it before this season? Those need to be answered. You know, at the end of the day, we're all going to have our opinion on it. But the biggest thing is, you know, for this, one of the Middlesbrough supporters said, I feel for the Southampton fans, because they would know nothing, and that's overshadowed what we all expect to be a fantastic match today. And, you know, we've all played the game. Will it affect the players? I don't think it'll affect the players. You know, the players don't know anything about it, allegedly. All they've got to do now is focus on the game and let the powers be, you know, let them deal with it in the right way.